Welcome to another episode of Waves of Wisdom. This is a podcast where we bring stories and insights from people with years of experience and wisdom in areas of their specialty, who are practicing those with passion and a purpose in their life and are becoming unretirable, as we call in this series. I'm your host, Iyaz Waheed, and today here with me is a good friend of mine all the way from Singapore. She is here in Maldives right now. As usual, she has been coming to Maldives for a very long time. She is the founder of Journey Training and Consultancy, as well as the president of Associations for Women's Empowerment. Welcome to the show, Imelda Sutisna.
Thank you.
And to start with, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you started your career and why you have taken learning and development as your passion?
Right. I think maybe I'll start when I met my husband.
Okay.
So when I met my husband, he was the executive chef of a very prestigious club. I was working as the beverage manager and the wine sommelier of that club. And I was, as with a lot of people, you're very lost in your first career. What do you want to do? What's your future going to look like? When I went into F&B operations, bar operations, it was pretty much a job by accident because we worked part-time when we were studying in Australia. When I was studying in Australia, I did that as a part-time job. When I came home to Singapore, I didn't know what I want to do, so I went into F&B operations. That was my first starting point. And I knew this is fun for a while, but it may not be what I want to do long-term. And in that role at that time, I had to do wine training. So my husband was the one who discovered my passion for teaching. So when he said, when you train wines, I can see the sparkle in your eyes. I can see that you really enjoy doing training. Why don't you consider going into learning and development? And that was when I decided, yeah, why not? I think because I don't think I want to do this long term. It's tiring. I'm on my feet all day, and fun for a while, but maybe not for the future. So I stepped out. I took the courage to step out. It was hard because I didn't have any background or any certification in learning and development, but it was more like a courage to pursue my passion for teaching that allowed me to pivot and maneuver. My first career was teaching in hospitality, and I was teaching the hospitality students and diploma in hospitality. So I enjoyed lecturing for a while. Again, may not be really what suits me long term. It was enjoyable, liaising with the students, connecting with the students, but I know this is really not where I want to land. And after a few years of teaching and lecturing for hospitality schools, I went into corporate training for corporate training companies in Singapore. At that time, there was a financial crisis, and we're very blessed in Singapore because that's where the government really pumped a lot of money into developing employees during critical crisis period. And it is still a strategy of our government to do that whenever we see that in COVID, we see that during the financial crisis. So the corporate training scene was very busy at that time. I got married, I have very young children, and I felt that was a suitable job for me for a while to do corporate training. So I'm associated with many training companies who send me to Singapore Airlines, to SATS, which is an arm of Singapore Airlines doing catering, banks, manufacturing, and corporate companies, MNCs. And that opened my eye to, different kind of environment, different corporate life, and it was still an era of exploration. I was still pretty much exploring, is this where I want to land? And I was doing well and busy doing associate training. And in 2007, 2008, I had the privilege to meet Dr. Ayu Maniku, who is one of the founder and owner of the Universal Resort Group in Maldives. And I really didn't know who he was. He was so humble, so simple, sitting in front of me. And how we managed to get in contact was because he was asking one of the supplier whether do they have a good training person to come to my resort to do training. My name came up, and that's how we met. So I met Dr. Maniku in his son's office, in Sanjay's office, and we started talking about the project for Barros. I thought this was a joke because, as in, like, I didn't believe this was happening because I thought, is this real? Is this not real? We got talking about the possibility of visiting his resort, doing something for his resort, and he explained that at that time in 2008, the resort just went through a renovation, and it was a 4-star property. Now they want to move to 5-star, and of course the staff are very long service staff. They need a bit of polishing of their skills and competencies. And then he just asked me, "Are you free this weekend?" I go,
just like that?
Yeah, just like that. I go, "Are you serious? What's happening?" He goes, "Are you free this weekend?" I said, maybe. And my husband at the side was nudging me, "Maybe? You are free." I said, okay, I'm free. What do you need from me? And he said, "I want you to come to Barros, stay for 5 nights, enjoy everything, go stay in the room, spa, eat, whatever. And after 5 days, produce a report and tell me what you can do for me." So I just gave birth to a very young baby at that time. And I told Dr. Maniku, I said, it will be a bit challenging because I just gave birth. And he said, "Bring your baby." I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah, bring your baby. Bring your husband, bring your baby." And I later on discovered that Barros is not a child resort. He actually borrowed a crib from banyan tree just to accommodate my baby for that 5-day stay. Anyway, to cut the story short, stayed 5 days, enjoyed everything, saw the resort, experienced the service. I produced a report on what I can do for him. And the proposal consists of about 3 months of work to train their staff in various topics. And of course, I cannot do everything. I had to also outsource some of that work to some of the corporate trainers in Singapore. But that was the beginning of the journey in Maldives. So 17 years later, I'm still here.
Yes.
And by God's grace, after Barros, I served Barros for 10 years. And what really made Barros a very successful project after 10 years was because Dr. Maniku was all in and all out to support the training, to support the service. We worked very hard with the team, the leaders worked together, and we managed to put them number 1 on TripAdvisor.
Yep.
And it was a very proud moment for me. My 10 years anniversary, I went underwater and did a journey plaque, which is my company's name, on the coral frame, right, to commemorate the 10 years anniversary with Barros. So God opened other doors. I was the pre-opening training consultant for Lily Beach. I was the pre-opening training consultant for Atmosphere Kanifushi. Also the opening consultant for Joy and Santara. And I'm now known to be a pre-opening specialist, where we go in and help the team get ready for the opening, not just in the area of their skills, but we do team building so that their morale is high, their energy is high, ready to receive their first guest. We go into SOP training, on-the-job training, and it makes me feel very, very proud for projects where I can be part of that opening. Yeah. And I cannot forget Joy, because I was right there during the opening day with all the Budu Beru, welcoming the first guests. And even as a training consultant, you do feel a sense of ownership that this is your project, and you're part of the pre-opening team. And it's nice. I think the job satisfaction is immeasurable. And I don't think I can replace that with any money. So today I'm still training a lot of the resorts in the Maldives. Maldives has become my baby because, it is the first project that actually gave me the courage to open my company. And I'm still doing Maldives every year, ranging from, depending, I do juggle other projects as well in other countries, but for Maldives, at least 3 to 5 times a year or even more, depending on the projects that they call me. So today I have about 25 brands that I serve in the Maldives. And I love the Maldivian people. I love the Maldivian culture. When I come in the airport, I think people are all amazed how come I know half the airport reps. And I eat with them in the staff canteen. I love Maldivian food. If you ask me every day what do I want to eat for lunch, it will be rice, curry, tuna curry, moringa leaves, and masmirus. So that's my food. And I think it's important not just doing the job in the country, but also get to know the people, embrace the culture, and have a very satisfied life. I don't think I would exchange my life for anything else today.
What a wonderful story and journey, isn't it? And then I forgot to mention at the beginning, you're also founder of Journey Training Institute, training company, right? Is there any particular reason why you gave the name Journey?
Sure. Thanks for asking. Besides, Journey is my favorite band. I'm sure for those of you who knows in the 1980s, 90s, Journey, there's a band called Journey. But I think the name itself really signifies that growth, change, transformation takes time. And I always look at my relationship with my client as partners to the business. We don't do a one-time job. We are ongoing partners with our clients in their area of growth and transformation. It is always very satisfying for my work to see someone from an executive move up to a supervisor, being promoted to assistant manager, a manager, a director, and even some of my ex-participants, students, are today GMs, RMs. I think after 17 years, you can imagine a lot of them have moved up the ranks.
Because some of these pre-opening resorts you talked about, I can remember the pre-opening GMs of those properties as actually junior management staff in Burros.
In Burros, yes.
Some of them are my friends as well. So,
definitely. It's very satisfying, to see their journey, right? And that we are part of their journey. And we always tell the management that, if you want to see transformation, we cannot just have a one-time initiative. It must be ongoing. I'm here to support you, whether is it online, whether is it face-to-face. And we built upon a structure of what we built before. So we come in, we build the foundation. Next year we come in to build the structure. The next year we build the pillars. The next year we build the cement, and then the roof, right?
Just like a building, right?
Yeah, it's just like a building. And only then can you see sustainability, can you see real transformation. And to me, it's like just seeing your kid grow up, seeing your kid grow up. And that's why the word journey, because I do not believe in short-term projects. I do not believe in short-term relationship. And a lot of my clients today are long-time friends. And I thank God that Journey today, we continue to do work for our clients. A lot is based on word of mouth. I don't do active marketing. I don't think you would see my logo anywhere on TV, magazines. I don't. A lot of my projects are word of mouth. We do a good job in a client's property, and whether is it a GM move or whether they recommend to other GMs, and that's how we grow. And I believe in word of mouth because it also motivates me so that when I go to the next property, I will equally do a great job so that I can continue to grow my business, but not just that, my reputation is very important for me. And every project is equally important. I do not have biasness just because it's the first resort, second resort, third resort. Every client that engages us, they are my babies, right? And I want to make sure, I want to see them grow up and be successful.
I can see that you are very passionate about this area of learning and development, helping others to grow as well. To come up to this stage, I'm sure you have, I know that you have actually acquired a lot of qualifications as well in the areas. So what are the most important learning experiences, certifications you had as a L&D professional which is helping you to actually do your work right now?
Right. I think I would categorize that into a few categories. Number one, as with every individual, I would also recommend that when you develop yourself, you need to be balanced. There are technical, functional expertise that you need to go for, whether is it certification, upgrading, academic, so that you're equipped to do your job. But there are also soft skills that you also need to go for so that you're balanced, right? Because you're not just going to be a task-oriented person, you also need to be an equally people-oriented person. So you need the other half of that competency to pursue soft skills, whether is it communication skills, whether is it relationship skills. So I follow the same theory that I need to be balanced. I don't just pursue academic qualification, but make sure that, I'm always sharpening my saw in the area of how I communicate, how I present, and I go for profiling tools, certification, so that I can be better at teaching personalities, profiling, emotional intelligence, mindset, right? And I'm an advocate of growth mindset. I love the topic. I think that really is the topic that is the key to opening up new doors and opening up your perspective towards growth. But at the same time, I also feel once in a while, we do need to stop and go for courses that are good for your soul, right? And whether that be, programs that help you dig deep into your past and settle your past, clean up your trauma, your emotional baggage, go for workshops that feed your spirit, go for workshops that feed your mind, feed your soul, and because again, as a human, you're made up of body, mind, and spirit. So those three needs to be equally fed, so that you are holistic in your development, right? And for me, because I am passionate about developing others, I need to be fully equipped to do my job. It's just like a chef. If you don't have a food hygiene certificate, you don't go out there and look at the recent, food trend and increase your knowledge and perhaps be a bit creative in recipes, food engineering. You will not be able to add value to where you work. So, and because we are in learning and development, we are passionate about developing people. I cannot be telling people to develop yourself and go for courses and then I stay stagnant.
Yes, very important.
So to me, I dedicate time to make sure that I do that for myself, so that I can add value to my clients and continuously be ahead of the game. You cannot be in a classroom training programs that is with theories that is 10 years old, 20 years old. And here you are trying to tell your clients, you cannot manage new world problems with an old school mindset, and yet you are teaching old method way of doing things, right? An old method way of leading. So you need to be ahead of the game to make sure that you understand the latest trend, what are the latest tool, what's happening around the world, and understand your whole ecosystem, so that when you're up there training the class, you really have something to give. You have new things that people can go, wow, I've never heard this before. It's not just a cut and paste program that you took with you for years and years and years, whether it's that you move from one property to another property. We see that all the time, right? Learning and development, people just cut, copy, cut, paste. But that's not how I believe we should be. You need to be ahead. Whether is it in your skills, in your mindset, in your trend, in your methods, you need to be ahead of the game.
Exactly. And I think you mentioned concept growth mindset, which I am also a big fan of the subject, and we both have done one session also.
We did a collaboration online.
So let's talk a little bit about the importance of growth and fixed mindset. So I think you are an example of somebody who embodies growth mindset, right? Who is pushing yourself always to the next level and trying to grow. And so actually, even for me, I started exploring this subject more when I, of course, read the book Mindset from Professor Carol Dweck. But even before that, I had this question. Why, especially in the resort sector when I was working as well, why people are actually stuck in their career? They grow certain level and then they get stuck. So I was trying to find an answer for this question which I had. And apparently this concept of growth mindset was the answer, because I realized that a lot of people actually fall back into a fixed mindset, isn't it?
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about how somebody can actually continuously grow and make sure they don't fall behind back into fixed mindset?
Sure. I think the key is really quite simple.
Yeah.
There's not a rocket science about this. I don't think I need to go into the definition of what is growth mindset and
yeah.
what is fixed. But you know, to understand that mindset is a spectrum. Well, what do I mean by a spectrum? Is that there are areas where a person could be a little bit more growth focused,
Yeah.
and there are areas that perhaps your beliefs or the way you think are a little bit more fixed focused. Not every subject you are a growth mindset person, and not every subject you're a fixed mindset person.
Yes.
It's a spectrum,
Exactly.
right? For example, somebody may feel how they look at themselves could be a bit more growth, but then how they look at other people could be a little bit more fixed. You know, so understand first of all that it is a spectrum. The key to ensuring that you continuously move forward and that you do not fall back into that fixed mindset zone is really self-awareness.
Yeah.
Right? So when you are aware and you stay tuned to what your mind is saying, you know, that self-talk, that beliefs,
Yeah.
and continuously, in a way, sharpening your saw by asking yourself reflective questions like, why am I thinking like this? You know, is there a underlying belief that has shaped the way I'm thinking now? You know, and so constantly questioning yourself, constantly checking yourself, and being self-aware when you slip into the fixed mindset zone is where you say, no, I'm coming back to the right track.
Yeah.
Right? I want to make sure that I'm now thinking differently. To me, mindset is like a muscle. You go to the gym, you exercise. If you don't go to the gym, asking you to lift 5 kilo is going to be a little bit of a challenge. 10 kilo, well, 20 kilos. But if you go to the gym every day and you flex and flex and flex and carry that weight every day, you'll be able to carry 5, 10, 20, 30, even
Over
50
time, yeah.
or even more, right? Because you have already developed a muscle and you exercise it every day. So mindset is a little bit like that. It is a muscle that you develop, and it's not going to be easy at first. A lot of us come from different backgrounds. Some of us come from a more fixed mindset background and upbringing that has shaped the way you look at things and your beliefs. And some of us perhaps come from a more optimistic growth mindset background that makes things a little bit easier as you grow up.
Yeah.
Right? But so not all of us come from a perfect scenario or background where automatically you're a growth mindset, right? Especially Asians, knowing how our parents are, how they develop us, how they always, you know, talk down to us, and they think that's the right way of managing us. It can be challenging, right? But it's your willingness to change and your willingness to live a different life. That, you know, you must have the inner willingness to want to see a different result.
Correct.
When you want to see a different result, the mindset comes with it, right? That with the right mindset, you'll be able to see the right result. With the wrong mindset, it'll lead to a wrong result. So flex it often and stay tuned. Make sure that your frequency to your inner thoughts and your inner self-talk is sharp, so that when you start slipping into the fixed mindset zone, quickly come back into the growth mindset zone.
And you should understand what is growth mindset and fixed mindset also, right? So that you can always come back. I think you are you explained it very well. So now you are so passionate about this learning and development area, right? What do you think are the challenges people are facing, especially in this era of new technology, and the pace of change and everything is so great that I mean, things we have to adapt is there are so many things, right? How somebody can actually be ahead of this curve and face these challenges?
I think understanding that you are living, working in a constantly changing environment is important. right? The way you manage learning and development in your organization, or how you as a participant take part in programs. It should not be a cookie cutter topic.
Yeah.
It should not be just a training program. A few issues with how I look at, the way organizations manage learning. First of all, it's a very piecemeal kind of program, right?
Yeah.
Oh, let's do communication skills. Oh, let's do, whatever, personality profiling, right? Or relationship management or service recovery. And a lot of those programs are really cut and paste, right? So understand the needs have changed.
Yeah.
Those programs that you perhaps have gained from your 4 seasons to your, one and only or whatever, you perhaps have used that material for the past 20, 30 years. It's no longer valid.
Even
right?
that must have changed in that place
yes,
as well.
Yes, things have changed in that place, and not just that, you're operating in a very different environment, different brand values, and on top of that, your customers' demands and expectations also have changed. The challenges that's posed to your job have changed. Like you mentioned, there's automation now, there is technology now. You cannot be training programs that is 20, 30 years ago. Yeah, perhaps some things still remain. I'm not saying a total overhaul, but you do need to constantly visit your programs and check, are we meeting the specific needs of the challenge today?
Okay.
So I make sure when I serve my clients, we go through customization. I put in their vision mission into the program. I look at the content, whether is it still valid, and is it still a real world problem that we are trying to solve through these programs, right? So I think that's one portion, training old programs, old materials that just don't change according to today's needs and addressing today's challenges. I think the second part is, it is a piecemeal. Right? There's no continuation. It's a one-off thing, and you expect magic. You can't.
Yeah.
You need to look at continuation. You need to look at what's next. You need to look at a hybrid of methods to be able to train a person holistically, right? In communication, for example, it's not just going to be a 1-day, 2-day training, but also skills practice. Do you provide opportunities for people to practice what they learn in the real world context? Are the managers also involved in supporting the learning of the team and the staff, right? Again, in a lot of the training is I see that staff in the training class, the managers are not there. They don't know what I'm teaching their staff. How are you going to support the team, right?
Exactly.
And they feel that, let's send this staff to Imelda for 2 days and magically they're going to turn out to be well polished. I always tell my clients, my name is not David Copperfield. Right? So
Exactly.
I don't do magic.
Yes.
Right? I don't do magic. And I need the support of the leaders. I need the support of the management.
Yeah.
I need the leaders to be involved. And that could be as simple. Let's not talk about complicated methods. That could really be as simple as, maybe let's design a 3 months observation checklist. All right. And look through the skills that we taught them, whether are they talking loud enough? Are they clear in their communication? I mean, whatever that you're teaching them. I'm just using communication as an example, right? And then on the job, observe. Are they putting that into practice? Are they actually practicing their skills that they learn? Or are they literally coming back to the same old person that you sent them before the class?
Yes.
And I also tell the participants, whoever come to my class, I said, if you're going to walk out this door today, pretty much the same person, I would just tell you, why don't you go now? Because you're going to be wasting 8 hours of your time learning something, listening, but not really transforming. So at the end of the session, I would like you to be committed to take one thing that you want to change for yourself. And this accountability is not for your managers or your GMs, it's for yourself.
Yeah.
How do you want to be different? How do you want to be better? And if you can just take one thing and change, to me, that is already a success.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and of course, mind shift. Are your participants shifting their mindset? Are they seeing things differently? There must be a click and go, yes, I think, I want to try this so that I can live a different life, work differently, produce different results. And that to me is also a testimonial of success. So continuation of learning, support from the management is lacking as well. And like you said, we need to be real with what is today's challenge. AI, technology is going to be a disruption to your job,
Yeah.
right? And are you upgrading your skills to embrace technology, that it is going to be part and parcel of your work?
Exactly.
Again, are you just functioning, learning things and taking things for granted, that your job's going to be like this forever, right? Maldives is still quite stable because it is majority a hospitality trade. But if you come to countries like Singapore, US, Europe, in a very fast-moving kind of environment,
Yeah.
your job today may actually be obsolete in another
Few months.
3 to 5 years, right?
It is coming to such a pace that I think even sometimes it can be obsolete in months.
Yes, exactly.
With AI.
With the invention,
yeah.
technology that's coming
Yeah.
in. And
I think
countries like that also we have.
Going back to your this learning and development effectiveness, actually, what you talk about. There was I read even a Harvard research on this area saying that there are like basically we are doing so much leadership programs and training programs, but at the end of the day, the organizations run
back
in the
to
same
doing things.
in the same old way.
Yeah.
What is actually the reason? Is it because of the lack of commitment from the team, or lack of commitment from the leaders? What is actually the reason the organization does training and development? And have you seen any of your clients not transforming and going back to the solo doing the
Plenty.
same thing? Yeah.
Plenty. But at the same time, there are also good testimonials of
Yeah.
change and real transformation happening. I think at the end of the day, it's not just about individuals willing to change. You must have a support system of leaders who are also there to support you in your journey of change.
Yeah.
The culture of the organization also need to support that change, which also means the leaders need to believe in there is a need for that change, and we are supporting that change no matter what, whether is it putting aside enough budget for change initiative workshops, support, buying technology, whatever is that change. The leaders ultimately are the one that shapes the culture.
Yeah.
Right? Culture is not a magic ingredient in an organization. At the end of the day, the culture of the organization is what the leader support and don't support. That's culture, right? And without the right environment, you're not able to bloom. Yeah. It's like I'm going to put a flower in a container where there's no oxygen and sunlight. I think in another few days, the flower will die, no matter how pretty that flower is. Right, so your environment is important. It's not just the flower itself, which is the individual, but also the environment where you are in need to support that journey of change, and then together you'll be able to see transformation.
So how important it is for organizations actually to be now there are a lot of talk around the HR spectrum about putting human back to the human resources, putting humanity back to organizations, becoming employee-centric organizations. So how important this is actually to put employee at the center of the organization, because about a decade back or so, we actually, when I was in college, mostly we talk about putting the customer at the center of an organization and everything around that. But now we see a lot of emerging organizations, like I said, they put the employee and the employee skill sets in the center of the organizations and shape the organizations around that. How important that is?
First and foremost, you need to understand that every organization is a people organization, because you are selling a product and a service to a customer, right? So even Google is still a people organization, even if it's a tech company.
Yes.
Because ultimately, customers are buying your product, right? So I would say every organization is a people, or should be a people-oriented organization, because you are serving human beings who purchase your product, right? And with that, the customer service of the organization, or people who are facing the customers, need to understand how to deal with human beings. And that also goes back again. Are you developing them, balanced enough in the area of human centricity and emotional intelligence, communication, relationship management? Or are you just developing your employee in the area of technical skills, and functional skills, and developing their mindset to chase only after money, revenue, business, right? And being task focused. So again, what kind of environment are you setting for your organization to make them understand that you cannot just be chasing one side, which is the task and the business and the revenue. You do need to also develop them at a very, very early stage to make them understand relationships matter, communication matters, collaboration matter, so that we can achieve the result. So if you're not balanced in the way you train them, develop them, they will be promoted into a manager that's only chasing after revenue and business
and neglecting the
human side of things, not taking care of their team, not understanding people, don't have the skills of empathy, right? Not able to connect, and again, your service will ultimately be cold, right? And people may not feel that you are an organization that understand human needs. So it's again the culture, and for every organization to understand that, like it or not, you're dealing with human beings.
You have been in this field for so long, but as we touch base, the new technologies which are coming up and shaping the future of work, when we are talking about it, what are the kinds of skill sets you think people need to get trained right now, or need to focus on going forward? Even trainers, for example, need to focus on what kind of skill sets they need to ensure that in the era of AI, automation, and all these things, which will be still relevant for human beings to actually embrace and amplify.
A few things. Number one, it's not so much on the AI and the technology, because they change frequently, right? Today you're dealing with a technology, next year it will be a new technology. First of all, you have to check whether you have the mindset of growth, right? And whether you are adaptable enough to embrace change. When you understand the need for change, then you will have a curious mindset to take the initiative to go out there and learn whatever's coming, the trends, new technology. So the root is actually, do you have the right mindset to adapt to change? And are you willing to, to look at things in a broader scale and also be open? Again, this is why growth mindset comes in, right?
Exactly.
And that is actually the magic ingredient. When you have a curious mindset and you believe in growth, you believe in developing yourself, and that your life is a continuous journey of transformation and growth, then you will continuously look out, and you're hungry to develop yourself, and you're not stagnant in your old ways of doing things. Because there's many topics out there, right? There's many topics out there. But if you don't have the right mindset, it doesn't matter whatever topic I give you, you're not going to absorb anything. And you will still fall back to the old ways of doing things and think whatever you know is enough, right? So the mindset is really the most critical factor for you to then embrace changes and topics and learn.
That's interesting. How can one person ensure that they always have this mindset and don't fall back? Because this is like we see even people start going to gym at the beginning of the year, throughout like first 3 months, and then they stop, because growth is actually hard. When actually the real growth start happening, you will start questioning even your own self, right? Whether what you are doing is actually, whether it is for you or not, or whom you are becoming. You will be scared sometimes, isn't it? Psychologically even, I think it is important. So how we can ensure that we are always at that right frame of mind for growth?
I think first and foremost is
Yeah.
you need to have a long-term life goal. And you also need to have a sense of purpose for your work.
Yeah.
If you don't have a long-term vision of where you want to be, and ultimately what do you want to achieve for your life, plus you have no clarity in terms of the purpose for your work and why you're doing what you're doing, everything else don't make sense.
Yeah.
Right? So why you go for certain courses, why you need to change, why do you need to have relationship with or network with certain people, whatever that's along that journey don't make sense when you have no sense of destination. So my first step, I always tell my participants and anyone I coach, is have a sense of long-term goal. Where do you see your life? A good question is, when you leave one day, how do you want people to remember you?
Yes.
And what is the legacy you want to leave behind, and the difference that you want to make to the people around you? That is your long-term goal. Just as with every company, you have a long-term vision that do not have a deadline. That ultimately is the impact that you want to make for your life. How do you want to be remembered? And then your sense of purpose is your everyday fuel and your everyday, how do I say that? It's your fuel, right? It's your motivation that happens every day. Why do you need to wake up early in the morning? And why do you have to give in your best every day? It's because you're pursuing something deeper.
Yes.
You're not just pursuing a salary that pays you once a month, but it's about, again, the impact you want to make, the difference you want to make, and fulfilling your life's calling.
Yes.
Should be that sense of purpose.
Yeah.
When you're very clear about this too, programs that you attend, people that you meet, things that you do will make sense.
Yeah. And it will start getting aligned in. I think
It will be
also
aligned. And you also know what is not aligned. That
Yes.
means you will not waste time with people and things and courses and whatever that's along the journey that do not serve the ultimate purpose. It will become a natural filter. And knowing where you need to channel your energy and your attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very important. This actually brings us to the theme of my podcast as well, which is unretirable. What I call is actually finding the purpose and passion, and then aligning those. It's so important. So you very rightly said, actually, one of the ways you can identify your passion or why is actually to think about what legacy you want to leave behind, and how you want to be remembered after you are gone. So what is your purpose in life?
Even purpose for every individual
Yeah.
requires time for it to be clear.
Yes.
You don't born with a clear purpose suddenly.
How many years
right?
it took for you?
It took me actually, if you ask me, I'll probably count backwards. It happened about maybe 15 years ago. Pretty much the same time I started my journey in Maldives. And actually there was an incident that made me be a bit more clear with my purpose.
Okay.
And
Can
I'll
we-
tell you the story.
yes,
I'll tell you the
please,
story. Before 15 years ago, I have this card that I write. It says, I love my job because. 15 years ago, it would sound something like this. I love my job because I get to travel, I get paid, and I see the world.
Yeah.
That's 15
All
years ago.
materialistic.
All materialistic stuff, really chasing after things that are not lasting, right? And 15 years ago, maybe about 15 to 17 years ago, about there, I met one participant in my class from a resort. I remember his name is Hussein. And I was teaching mindset program at that time, and he was in my class. He was a storeman in one of the resort. He was sitting quietly listening to me, and you can see something's happening. He is absorbing everything you say, but he was very quiet in class. After the class, he came up to me and he just said, he held my hand and he goes, Imelda, thank you. That's all. That's all I got from him. I went home. He went back to work. 3 months later, he wrote me an email. And he said, Dear Imelda, my name is Hussein. I was in your class 3 months ago. And you were teaching about mindset and also about positive reinforcement, self-talk, and self-fulfilling prophecy and all that stuff. I have a program called Mindset, Service Mindset, that talks about all these stuff. Right? And he said, it made me reflect how my life has gone terribly wrong. My wife left me for another man, and she just threw our daughter to me. So I have to look after the daughter as a single father. It was not easy. And over the years, I start to resent my daughter because my daughter looks exactly like her. And I have a lot of hatred and bitterness and emotional burden, and I dump that to my daughter. We don't have a good relationship. I talk to her in a very rough manner, and one day I just screamed at her to say, "You are such a big disappointment, just like your mother." And obviously that caused our relationship to deteriorate, and we haven't spoken for 5 years. In your class, I started to reflect in which way have I done wrong. And I realized that my mindset was wrong, which led to the things that I say, and I was not self-aware how I was destroying the relationship. And I just want to thank you for your class because it made me change my ways. And tomorrow, he put there in bracket the date, tomorrow, I will be meeting her for the first time.
After 5 years.
After 5 years for dinner.
What a wonderful story, isn't it?
It is. And it made my hair stand because I realized that when I'm in a classroom, I have the power to change people. I have the power to change mindset. I'm probably the most powerful person in a classroom.
Yes.
Right? And my words carry weight. I do have influence. And am I using that the right way? And 15 years later, that card says a very different word. I love my job because I get to transform lives through education and training.
Okay.
And my long-term life goal is to be able to make an impact and change people's lives for the better.
Wonderful.
That's my card today.
Yeah.
I put that card on my cupboard when I wake up every morning. For every project, it's a reminder why I need to give my best. And I also realize that training is my calling. And I have to do it well. And I give my 100% to my client. If I wake up today with a headache or sick, you will not be able to tell the difference. I will be in class with 200% energy, giving my best. You may not be able to talk to me after class because my battery will be flat. But in class, you will not be able to tell the difference because I love my job. I love the impact of my work. And for their sake, I need to give my best. So that's my story of how I found my purpose.
It's wonderful, isn't it? And I think there's a bit of addition to what you do now because of your reframe of your purpose now that is actually making an impact in the world. And I believe you're working with women's.
I'm the president of the Association for Women Empowerment.
Women Empowerment, and you also co-founded, I think, the branch in Maldives as well. Now it's started. Can you tell us a little bit about the work you do with?
Sure. We're still at baby steps with the Association for Women Empowerment Maldives. And we're in the midst of registering the association as a proper NGO. But the whole purpose and passion of starting this out with my co-founder Aminath Ali is really because I want to serve the women of Maldives. After training Maldives for 17 years, I know that why women may be a little stuck in the area of their career or even self-discovery. It's really a mixture of a lot of things. Perhaps the perception of women's role in the society, in the country, plus there is still some biasness when it comes to women and career. And a lot of it is self-doubt. Self-doubt whether they're good enough. Self-doubt whether just because I'm a woman.
Is it self-doubt of the women or self-doubt of their male counterparts?
I think it's a mixture of both. It's a mixture of both. I do see that a lot as in an individual. Some tell me their stories, some don't, so I cannot assume. But I do see that a lot. That negative self-talk, the self-limiting beliefs, and some of them are genuinely stuck. Genuinely stuck. Whether is it their home environment, the lack of support in their family, and the pressure of having to be a wife, a mother, plus working, can be a bit tricky. So when we set up this association, really is to provide support in the area of whether is it counseling, in the area of whether is it coaching, is it mentoring, is it training, is to help women stand up, is to help women discover themselves. A lot of people always have this misconception about woman empowerment, thinking that we want to be better than the men, and I disagree. There is a place in society for women, there is a place in society for men, and women need to play our parts in complement to the men. And how can you rise up? And also, women are, at the end of the day, in a household, you know, the core pillar of a mother, of a wife. And if you are operating in a self-doubt mode, right, with a negative mindset, a fixed mindset, you will not be able to rise. Look after your children properly, teach them the right way, develop them for future leadership roles, right, and develop your children to be independent, to have a growth mindset, to support your husband as a wife, you know, and you'll be handicapped. If the woman in the household is limiting herself, the household will be handicapped. So I like to correct that perception that we're not here to brainwash women to be better than the men, but rather for them to discover themselves, to operate at the best level that they can be, fully optimizing their potential, and be the best mother, the best wife to the family.
And I think that is sometimes this now this perception is changing, I think, but years back we had people had this even in the corporate world, it was mainly the very male-oriented environment. So there was no actually feminine leadership. So most of the women also try to actually become like men in their leadership roles, right? Rather than amplifying their strengths as feminine.
Play to their strength.
So coming back to my topic of unretirable, and I can see that even when you're speaking, your eyes sparkle with the passion, you know, of this area and subject. So how you keep your passion alive? You might be able to have a purpose, but actually to achieve that purpose, you need this passion, the energy, the you know, this going day in day out, like you said, when you are sick or not, to get up and go and deliver trainings and things like that. How you ensure that? What do you do actually behind the scene?
Just have fun. Have fun. Love what you do. I never look at training as a job. When I'm invited by my client to do training for the resort, I look at it as I'm having 5 days of fun, man. You know, and I have fun with the team, I have fun with the participants. When you love what you do, they will find you inspiring, right? And you pass that great energy and that great vibe around you. How can I be telling people to be passionate about service, and I'm not even passionate about my job? And truly, I love teaching. You know, I look at it as a privilege to be able to grow and develop people. I know this is my calling. I want to make sure that I do it well. You know, all of us don't have a long runway for our career. 20 years, 30 years, maybe you'll retire. I want to make sure I fully utilize that 20 years or 30 years and give it my maximum. I want to be able to look back without regrets that I have given my best with every job and every task that's given to me. And like I said, the secret ingredient is really just enjoy what you do. And when people come to you, I think what really inspire me and motivate me and fuel me is at the end of the class, people come to you and ask for help. They come to you and go, Imelda, I want to ask you this question. I'm facing this challenge. Can you help me? You know, oh, Imelda, I'm facing an issue with my team. Can you help me? I look at that as a privilege. The fact that people actually trust you to help them, right? I don't look at it as a burden. I look at it as a privilege. It's an honor for people to be able to put that trust on you. And with that trust comes respect too, because they have respected you to a certain level. They come to you for help and they listen to your advice. And I never take any of that for granted.
You mentioned about a word which I am trying to reframe called retirement.
Yes.
Yeah, which I'm telling people to become unretirable.
Yes.
So I say people like you who have found that passion and who can go on very long time doing what you are doing, right? So what is your plans in the future?
Sure.
How do you see yourself? You have been already in the field for about 18-20 years. In next 10 years or 20 years, how do you see yourself?
Sure. First of all, when I say your runway for your career, 20, 30 years, I'm talking about corporate life, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you stop contributing to society after that. Perhaps certain countries have a certain mandate of retirement age that you have to fulfill.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you don't do anything else after that, right? I think I was just joking to my husband, imagine I'm married to a millionaire. Will I still be working? And the answer is yes, right? Even if I'm not working for money, I'll be working as a volunteer.
Yes.
Because I'm one person who just cannot stay still, and I want to make sure that I'm living my life fully, giving myself fully to a cause. So I don't believe in retirement. At least for me, I don't, right? And I think I will go crazy if I'm going to sit down on a chair looking over a mountain every day just drinking coffee. I will really go crazy. I think there's a lot of things you can contribute. Know yourself, know your strength, know your talents, know your calling. And whether or not you are pursuing that for money, for income, which realistically we all need. We still need to feed our families, we still need to pay bills. But even if one day you officially retire from a corporate organization, you can always come out and do consulting, you can do projects, you can help the underprivileged. By setting up Association for Women Empowerment, in a way that's my next chapter.
Yes.
Because my next chapter is to focus on helping women become the best that they can be. Using my experience, using my exposures, I want to now help women who ultimately, I can see the long-term road is when I help women, they help families.
Yes.
Right? So for me, it will never be ending. And as long as I can still talk, I will always be working, whether is it training, whether is it coaching, whether is it mentoring, with income or no income.
Yes.
That's besides the point,
Yeah.
right? But what gives me fulfillment, so that even at an age where I'm 60, 70, 80, I'm still happy doing what I'm doing, and I find joy. And I believe that benefit me back in return. And because I'm happy, I will always look young. I will always be young.
I think that is the secret, right?
That's the secret.
And Imelda, when you talk about young, if you are to tell your younger self, 20 years back self, reflecting back on what you have achieved up to now, and what would you tell to a 20-year-old?
I would say be a bit more wise, to be selective, to listen to voices that matter, and shut out the voices that condemn you and pull you down. Those voices become your inner self-talk and limits your possibilities and potential. I think my road of self-discovery and accepting and loving myself was a very long journey. I don't have good relationship with my parents on top of that. That causes that journey to be doubly difficult. I don't have friends or good mentors or coaches that can shape my thinking. And a lot of that is really through a lot of heartache and pain and mistakes that caused me to have a self-desire to change where my life is going. I don't regret my past. I think it is my past today that gives me the stories for me to inspire others. If you don't experience bad experiences or go through life's challenge, you don't have real stories to tell, or stories that can inspire others. I'm thankful for my past, whether it be a divorce, at a very young age, being a single mom at a young age. You know, I have a lot of painful stories, but let's not go there. The thing is, every decision I made, whether was that for my good or for my mistake, turned me to be who I am today.
Yeah.
Without my past, I cannot have what I have today or think like what I am thinking today.
Yeah. So I think that is important for young people also to realize whatever they are going through now is actually shaping their future, and like you mentioned, to having a positive mindset, we can. So we are coming towards an end of our show. Thank you very much. You have shared really good insights into learning and development and training fields and how people can really grow. And what will be your last message to our listeners?
You know, with what's happening in the world today,
Yeah.
I think don't take anything for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And life is short. Live every day like as if it is your last, and live it meaningfully.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look back with regrets. Right? If you give your best today, you will not have regrets. There are two thieves that steal your present moment.
Mm-hmm.
The first thief, his name is what if. The second thief, his name is if only.
Yes.
When I say thief, it's because it really robs your joy and it robs you living your best life. Right? When we talk about if only, we're looking back. We're too busy looking back with regrets, occupying ourselves so much looking back that we don't channel enough energy and time for the present.
Yeah.
The second thief, his name is
What if?
what if.
Yeah.
You're too preoccupied looking front for things that has not even happened, putting so much of your energy into worry and overthinking that you're not living your best life today.
You're not living in the present.
You're not living in the present.
Yeah.
If only you can live the present fully, giving your best every day, living as if it's your last, you will not have regrets and you don't have to worry. So that's my key takeaway for today.
Thank you, Imelda. It's been really a pleasure, and I hope we can have such a conversation again. And I think it's really opened up my eyes also in some areas. So thank you very much for being on our show.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
See you again.
Yes. To our viewers, as Imelda has mentioned, don't forget to live every day as your last day. Until we come back again with another wonderful episode of Waves of Wisdom, don't forget to be awesome. Thank you.